I think we'll call this the day of failures.
Failures all day today.
All day.
All day.
The struggle. Lots of lessons to be learned. We'll unpack them in the voiceover on today's video.
Me and Justin got the opportunity to go somewhere really, really special and absolutely failed. Now I'm gonna share with you guys all of these fish that we lost in the hopes that you guys can learn and become better spearfishermen yourself. So we've returned to the promised land with Justin Lee, looking for those ukus, onos, yellow spot papillos, big Moana collies, I don't know. I've got my uku sweater on, I got my ono tee on. Let's see how they work. People ask, and he's here.
Aloha, kakahiaka, e o moai o te Yeah, that's my Hawaiian for the day.
What?
Yep, exactly.
What was that?
If you don't know what I just said, then you haole. Ryan is confused. We're gonna have some fun!
I never heard Justin speak Hawaiian.
That was not any Hawaiian. But look it up.
All right, guys, I just woke up. The sun is just creeped above the horizon. Asa tried to catch a fish, but as usual, he didn't. So we're gonna jump in the water and we're gonna show him how it's done. And we'll see you guys in the water.
So this was kind of a really weird day of diving because it really is the worst that I've felt in a really, really long time. So I kind of want to break down some of those things for you and help you guys kind of deal with your own problems when you're out there diving and maybe you're not feeling at your best also. So we had a couple of interesting things we were dealing with today. We had dirty water. I hadn't slept it all the night before, so I really wasn't feeling well. And because of all that, my sinuses locked up early in the day, causing me to have to use my hand all day to equalize, really force those sinus equalizations, which just kind of screwed me up all day long. This first drop looked super promising. I actually had a yellow spot papillo come straight in. There's fish everywhere, but my first couple drops of the day are always looking for those wahoo or those ono. So I want to pass on these and then wait and kind of keep looking around before I fire at the first available fish. So we're going to kind of break down those problems that I was having throughout this whole video. And for that first problem that I had, it was really kind of just, I mentally got in my own head. And that happens all the time out here spearfishing, and especially it gets triggered from certain things. So for me, this day, I get down here to the bottom, I do my couple grunts right here, I call in these yellow spot papillos. I've already done a few dives, I've already looked around, I know that there's no onos coming in right now. So I'm like, let's go get one of these yellow spot papillos and then we'll cruise on to the next spot. Well, one of the important things about diving is you've got to build that confidence early in your day. And I do that with tournament diving a lot, where like I make sure that whatever I shoot at first, I land. Because that kind of sets the stage for like your own confidence the whole day. So for me, this shouldn't have been a big deal. I'm down here, I'm only 70, 80 feet. I called these yellow spot papillo right over into me, and I should have been able to punch right through this thing. But for whatever reason, punched straight through it, nice headshot there, and the flopper didn't deploy, lost this fish, which is just not the way you want to start your day. And to cap it off, on my way up, nice big tiger shark came cruising right up to us, which just, again, mentally triggers you for the rest of the day. This is all you're thinking about. So now that I'm really struggling with that confidence, I'm trying to take closer shots because I'm trying really hard to not lose any fish. You definitely don't want to shoot and miss, and you definitely don't want to injure fish and have them get away. So we had a nice uku coming up to our chum line here, but I didn't get within that really, really super confident range, so then I didn't take the shot, which is the equivalent of another missed opportunity. So one of the major things I was dealing with this day was poor visibility. Now, it may not look like that on the bottom, but from the top, there was a dirty water line and we couldn't see each other a lot of times in the current. So one person dives down to the bottom, Justin is up top waiting, and a lot of times you drift away from each other, therefore you come up away from each other. So when I'm diving like that, I like to be super conservative and bring whatever my comfort level is way back just a little bit. So what that meant was on a day that I'm uncomfortable, my dives get shorter and shorter and shorter. So I spot the uku out here on this dive, I try to grunt it in, and on a normal day when I'm feeling really good and that water is clear, I should be able to wait this fish out. I should be able to make the necessary moves to get close enough to get a shot at this fish. But in my deteriorated state, I couldn't quite make that happen and I bailed. You'll kind of see that theme over and over and over today, where I get down to the bottom and instead of those 2.5 minute dives that I can usually pull off to kind of close that gap and get within range of those ukus, the fish were there. I saw them. Like again, here on this dive, there's another uku that I'm going to spot. You kind of get a little bit better idea of the dirty water on this dive here. But in that state that I'm not quite 100% confident that Justin's going to be there on the top And because I'm already not feeling well, I go into my I'm all alone dive mode, which brings my dives all the way back, 45 seconds less, a minute less than what I normally would do. So instead of waiting down there and doing the right moves and the right tricks to get that fish to come into me, again, I bail, I take the easy, safe route because I'm not willing to risk it. I dive a lot of tournaments, which means I have to dive alone. And I have kind of a safe mode that I go into when I know that I'm alone. And I go into that mode also if I'm in dirty water. Realistically, current plus dirty water means you're diving alone. I don't care who you say, you cannot always watch your buddy because you don't know where he's going to end up. You can use a float line a little bit to try and mitigate that, but for the most part, you're out there diving alone. And if you find yourself in that situation, you kind of have to really dial back what you're willing to do or move and try and find cleaner water. So obviously we can't go anywhere. So I need to act as if I'm alone. So I'm down here on the bottom, I'm doing my grunts, that uku is clearly cruising back and forth, and on any other day, I should have been able to make the moves, to scratch, to wait, to kind of get a better hiding spot, to make that uku happen. But this day, it wasn't happening. I wasn't willing to, and again, it's not that the fish were not there, it's that I couldn't make those minor adjustments to make it happen. I think this was the first fish we picked up all day. Justin got down there and picked up one of these nice moves. Again, you'll see another dive here where I get down to the bottom. The uku is there. I see them, but I'm not able to convert. And it's those small things that really all add up, guys. It's this small little, look, I landed on top of the rock instead of beside the rock. And I did that as a way to stay a little bit shallower and to be a little bit more comfortable. But in reality, that was just a worse hiding spot. Now everything can see me. That uku, instead of coming, I should have been off to the right, tucked down in that wedge, and that uku might have come all the way around the corner and come up. Instead, I'm on top, comes in, he sees me, my movements are too threatening, I'm moving around too much, and he's like, peace out, I'm out of here. And it really is those tiny things, those little bitty things that all add up to make these trophy fish, these extra wary, extra smart fish, get close enough to let you get an ethical shot. And you can see right here, again, shorter dive time than I normally would. He's out there, I try my best, but I don't have it today. And it's all those teeny tiny things that add up to develop those opportunities into an uku in the box or just an uku swimming away. So when we do this mission, we leave like 3 o'clock in the morning, which for a couple hour drive to get to where we leave from, there's not a lot of sleeping that happens. I only got 30-40 minutes of sleep. Justin said the same. So I was really pretty worn out this entire day. And to try and do these good dives makes that just a little bit harder. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, at this point, just before this dive right here, I was on the boat and I bring a Red Bull for my way home, and I drank the Red Bull and I was like, my diving cannot get any worse, so might as well. And to be honest, it truly got better. It was kind of shocking to all of us, but like I just needed that energy. I was so run down and so tired. So on this dive, filming Justin, trying to get down here to look into this Alua house. Some of you guys might recognize this house from a couple of our past videos, but he comes down real stealthy like, looks in that cave. He actually said there was a fish in there, but it bulked out the backside before he can get in. And look out here to the left, you'll see a really nice uku come in. Now, I thought he was going to go for the shot. I was hoping he wasn't because I was about out of air. But you'll see him, he came in and we both backed out. Rather than go for any kind of Hail Mary, this fish is going to stick around until we scare it away. So we wait and do another dive. Next dive, now we know that uku is around. We didn't scare him. So he should, theoretically, still be just as interested. But this time, instead of going down to look inside the cave, we're going to go down and we're going to look out off of the ledge. Now, this is not completely ideal for the uku. I mean, it is a nice hiding spot, but I always prefer to be at the deepest zone that I could possibly be. So ideally, I would have been all the way out there off of that ledge at the bottom corner. So it was about 100 feet down to the bottom corner. It's only about 60, 70 feet right here. So another 30 feet, I really believe, makes all the difference in making those fish just a little bit more comfortable, because that is where they're doing a lot of their hunting. They are down there on that transition zone, looking for, the crabs that are maybe out in the sand, and the shrimp and the octopus, and then maybe ducking up onto the reef and grabbing some fish as well. The water was a bit clearer over here, and I had my Red Bull, and I really kind of started to wake up. I have not put a fish on the boat all day, and honestly, it was like noon, which is unheard of over here. Normally, we're kind of on our way home by noon. The box is loaded. We're done for the day. But today, I hadn't killed anything. So I get down here, I'm going to the sand. You guys can tell, like I'm always talking about, I go down to the edge of the sand. I'm moving a little bit slower than I was before. I'm doing my grunting, and I'm calling those ukus in. You can see how kind of I'm on the other side of the rock, hidden, waiting for him to come over to me. I'm doing a little scratching with that left hand, moving really, really slowly. And he does exactly what he's supposed to do. He comes right in, not a long dive, but comes within range and able to drill him with that little Pathos 110, stick it right through his head, flopper deployed, first fish in the boat. Back to back here, another successful dive here on the yellow spot. Honestly, I was really intending to get a handful of these. I mean, these are some of my most favorite fish to eat, and I really don't find them very often. So this was kind of a goal. I was like, man, I could really use 2 or 3 of these, take them home. That'd be great to share with Sam and friends and family, and they make just fantastic sashimi. But I ended up with only this one here before we kind of got distracted by some Onos coming up and some other stuff. But I get down here to the bottom, I do those grunts, I'm chilling, hanging out, waiting to see kind of what's coming around. Always looking for those ukus, but pretty confident that I'm going to stick a yellow spot papillo on this dive. I'd seen a bunch from the surface kind of cruising right around this ledge. So you can see him kind of coming in here. The trevallies love grunts. If you can make that kind of grouper call, grunting with the back of your throat when you're down here on the bottom, they seem to hone in on it like a magnet, and they'll kind of come right over to you. So take my time, super patient, wait till they swim into my spear gun to make that stone shot, roll one over, fantastic sashimi.
Well guys, what a struggle of a day. I really was not feeling it today. I was not feeling well.
It was bad.
Even Justin missed a couple fish, huh?
I missed 4 fish, 3 moves, back to back to back to back. It was horrible. And then I missed an uku point blank. But hold on. I have redemption.
Let's see it.
All I ever had. Redemption song.
There you go. That's a Justin Lee shot right there. Nice. Just takes one. Turn the whole day around, huh?
Takes one. Yeah!
Sick. Well, we got a couple more spots to go hit. Hopefully, this is that day turning around. Still looking for that Ono. Got my one uku, one little yellow spot. Chassis.
So this is one of those unbelievable epic fails, one of the craziest fails I've ever really had with spearfishing, or at least in the last, couple years or recent memory. So I'm on my way up. We're here looking for Onos, but as soon as the Onos are not there, I'm going to the reef and I'm looking for those ukus and those yellow spots and those big Moana collies and all the reef fish. But on my way up, boom, there he is, out there, a pack of Onos coming cruising in. So on my way up, I'm grabbing my throw flasher off my belt, so as soon as I hit that surface, I can pitch it out there and hopefully attract them over to me. It works perfectly. They turn in on it. They're coming in. And one of the rules we kind of have with Onos, especially if you're diving on a specific point, you're not out there drifting the blue, but do not scare them away. Don't chase after them. It's way better to not get a shot off than it is to fire or chase them or scare the whole pack away. And you'll see that perfect example today. Like these same pack of Onos, we're going to get 3 different opportunities on, and eventually 4 different opportunities, and eventually put 1 in the box, which is not a great ratio, but for the way the day was going, it's about par for the course. So I, instead of going down and swimming away from my flasher and potentially, engage, allowing them to come in and engage with it, I went down to my flasher and scared them away. I should have gone down, swam out to the right, got down to the level, but again, a little bit underweighted, and I had trouble really staying shallow below the surface in that 5 to 10 foot range where they're kind of hanging out. But unbelievable Ono action here. They come through, they're tearing up my throw flasher, and then right there, completely whiff. That was my shot of the day. Completely ruined.
Hey, Justin! Yo! You! Yo! Throw a payload! Throw!
Justin comes in next, throws his flasher, gets down, and you can see again, he had an opportunity there, but didn't take it. Better to let him swim away and hopefully come back. Eventually Justin gets down to their level, manages to get a shot off, and again, I don't know what happened here. He punched it right back through that fish, and that slip tip tore right back out. I don't know what happened. So I'm feeling pretty bad. Justin's feeling pretty bad. I'm like, whatever, what a lost day. Let me at least go back down here to the bottom and get some more of these yellow spot papillas. So I get down here. Again, you can see how I'm diving poorly. I don't go down to the edge of that dirt, at the edge of that sand where the reef meets the sand. Instead, I kind of lay up higher on that ledge in that 70 feet zone because I'm thinking, you know, it's really just yellow spot papillas. They should be cruising around that high spot. But then, of course, what happens is I get down here to the bottom and the uku show up. And I should be laying down there to the sand and I'd be a lot closer to this fish. Unfortunately, again, I don't know what happened here. Punched right through the side of this thing and then slipped right back out. Just kind of sad, depressed after losing those couple fish in a row. Really feeling badly about this whole day. And then I turn around to see Justin tight to an Ono, fighting this thing, bring it in, stoked to finally put the first one of these on the boat for the day.
There you go.
From there, we moved off to one of my favorite spots over here, which is a lot deeper. So the top of this reef is actually at about 100 feet. And I love this spot because every time I get down here, there's a selection of fish. And this time was no different. I got down here to the edge of that ledge, kind of hung on, looked around, and immediately ukus all over the place. Stoked now, I've kind of tweaked that flopper a little bit. I'm feeling better. We got a few fish on the boat, and I'm like, I will not screw this up. So really want to take my time here, really want to pick out, not necessarily the biggest fish in the school, but I want to make sure that one comes home with me. This one got a little bit too close, stuck him through the head, managed to kind of keep him off the reef, which is really important when you're out that deep with current, and land a beautiful uku and kind of turn this day around just a little bit. So if you hear that squeak going on, that is my sinuses, because throughout the day they've gotten more and more inflamed. And basically what I'm doing is there's a little hard airspace in there that I have to force air in every single dive, and every single one of them causes a little more damage, takes a ton of my oxygen, and makes me really uncomfortable. But managed to get down here to 100 feet, Becky and Ono school coming straight through, rolled this one, fantastic eating fish. I don't see very many of these, and when I do, I'm usually somewhere really cool or somewhere out deep. Last spot of the day, and Justin yells, he's like, bro, come film me. There's a world record knife jaw down here with the 3-prong. So I follow him over here, and I dive down to the bottom, like, oh my god, they're everywhere. And he manages to stone this thing. I thought for sure this fish in the bag, he had it, and it looks like he just kind of flopped off the paralyzer tip there, and he lost it. He went under the rock. We looked for him for a long time, but we ended up not being able to find him. You can see how incredible Justin looks down here on the bottom, though. He just looks so comfortable, so confident, chilling up against that rock, no worries. He was actually looking at a rainbow runner right there, and I'm like, what are you doing, bro? There are knife jaws all over the place. Get a knife jaw to eat. I absolutely love eating those things. They're kind of like one of my favorite fish. You can see how he uses his momentum, his negative buoyancy to kind of adjust. He doesn't kick from one spot to the other. He lets himself fall over there. And that's a really cool advanced technique you guys should all have. Didn't make this one happen, and that was it. Last dive of the day.
Well, guys, what I've learned over my spearfishing career is it's not the fish that come home with me. It's the fish that I lost throughout the day that like I continue to think about. It's like it's those mistakes that I'm kind of always wondering, like, how do I fix that? Like, what about today? What did you have? You had some of those same moments.
I had some epic failures today, some humbling moments. I mean, I think the last time I missed 3 consecutive shots back to back to back, I can't remember. But it's that one thing, once you get in your head,
It's over.
It's hard to snap out of it.
I like to minimize those mistakes because that's all you can do. All you can do is do as few of those as you possibly can, because you can't go out and like, you can create as many opportunities as you can. That's what we're doing. That's what we're kind of good at.
You've got an X amount of opportunities.
And it doesn't matter whether you go to the promised land or you go right out front of town, but you only get X amount of opportunities, and about how many of those you capitalize on. So you lost what? You lost an Alua today? You lost an Ono?
A knife jaw?
A knife jaw?
I missed 3 moves and a uku.
I lost an uku at least. I lost my first yellow spot. I lost an Ono. I'm sure I lost more. I was so out of it today, I don't even know what I lost. All these complaints. Now let's see what we got.
We sound like pansies, but we did well.
2 buckets full. That was a nice moo, a nice Justin moo. A couple ukus, yellow spots, more ukus.
Nice veke nono.
There was at the end of the day, last one, a nice little veke nono. And you got the Ono to save the day.
Yeah.
You got it. trophy of the day.
Perfect. You guys done taking your pictures?
So we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna take this yellow spot papillo. We got dinner. We'll see you guys back in the kitchen. Supporting the dream right here.
Look at this.
We just dropped a whole bunch of merch. If you haven't been over to the website, go check it out. Look how good they look. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. Back here at Maya's place, I brought that yellow spot papillo. We got Justin again, but Maya's gonna show us what she shot. What is this?
Well, I thought it was a Polani, but Justin said it was something else.
What?
Walu.
Let me
Hualu.
see the tail.
So look at it.
Blue with yellow.
No, it's a Polani.
Well, I caught.
Polani.
You guys gonna listen to the white boy? Or gonna listen to the local boy? That's a Poalu.
I wasn't gonna like.
It's a Polani.
That was a few hours ago.
So yellow spot papillo is really special in that it is like the best sashimi. Some say better than Ono. I don't know. We're gonna test it out today, but that's exactly what Mai was looking for. She was like, don't do anything to it. We'll just eat it sashimi. So straight up raw, cut up into little chunks, mixed soy, wasabi, that is it.
This is my favorite. My favorite sashimi.
For Paka? How do you like it? You don't care.
For me?
That was gross.
you. And the Polani.
What are you making?
Pork belly wraps. Vietnamese wraps. So that.
When Mai invites you to dinner, you go.
This is my piece. Butter, amazing. It is the best sashimi, in my opinion.
See how well you took care of your fish.
The test.
So good, bro. It is so good. Like, I don't understand why more people don't target this fish.
They target them, they can't find them. Went to the ends of the earth for that fish.
We did, actually. And the crazy thing is, the bigger they get, the better they are, too. And if you can get lucky and find one like 10 pounds, just butterballs. But I'll eat this all day.
Really difficult day there. Learned a lot, but still ended up with a fantastic meal to be here and share with our friends. Fantastic. Yellow spot papillo. Tough to beat. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys learned something along with me, and we'll see you next time right here on Ryan Meyer's Expeditions.